Okay, so this is going to be an instructional / overview video of this brand new 2026 model Burstner B66 684 TD. First of all, we're going to go around the external of the motorhome and then we will go into the habitation area. As you can see, this vehicle does come with an awning. On the email you'll get a separate link how to set up and use the awning. The first thing I'm going to show you is how to open the bonnet. Two reasons for this. First one is obviously so you know where the lever is to release the bonnet, and then two, I'm going to show you where the terminal points are in case you need to jump start the vehicle for any reason. So to open the bonnet, all you need to do is come around to the passenger door, and then if you open the passenger door at the side of the dash, you will see the bonnet release catch. All you need to do, pull that down once and that will then release. Also, while we are in the cab area, as you can see, I've got the seats swiveled, but underneath the passenger seat we have obviously your 12 volt system, so this is where all your 12 volt fuses are, and then under the driver's seat, that is where your lithium battery is, because this has got a lithium battery now. And then the front windscreen has blackout blinds, so all you need to do is this little tab here, pinch it and then slide them across and they will meet in the middle of the windscreen on a magnetic strip. And then driver and passenger door have blackout blinds too. All you need to do is lift this up, follow the guide round all the way to the top like so, and then slide down and that locks into place. And then all you need to do is do it in reverse, follow the guide around, and that is then locked back into place. So as you can see, I've got access to the bonnet area. So like I said, the reason for this is to show you the terminal points for in case you need to jump start the vehicle for any reason. So here on this nipple here we have your negative terminal point, and then down here, which will be under this black cover here, just lift it up and that is down there your positive terminal point. Obviously under here as well we do have your screen wash fill just in front of the driver. So now we are going to carry around the external of the motorhome and we'll carry on the passenger side. So next to the passenger door, behind this cover here, you will have your diesel fill and AdBlue. On your diesel fill, you just need to use your vehicle blade key, and then your AdBlue is just a screw. Here, this locker here, we have your service locker. So here we have your freshwater tank, which can hold 120 litres. If you want to fill up this freshwater tank, you just need to take this blue cap off, and then you've got a spill flap here. Basically, this hooks on to the other side, so when you are filling up, any excess water falls out of the compartment and not obviously down into the bottom here and get wet. So obviously when the water starts to come back out, that means your freshwater tank is full. On the top here, this black knob, so to twist it to the left 2 full times, currently closed. So this freshwater tank is closed. Twist it to the right 2 full times and that will open the valve to drain all the water out of the freshwater tank. And then if you want to just travel with 20 litres, basically when the freshwater tank is closed and it's got water in it, all you need to do is twist the black knob to the right a quarter turn, and then that will lift up the drain valve just a little bit, so then obviously the water, any excess water above, will drain out, and then it will give you a rough gauge of 20 litres. Down here we've got 2 valves. We've got a black one there with blue diamond valve on top. That's called a frost protect valve. What a frost protect valve does is protecting your boiler. Basically this valve you do need to close and open if you want to obviously, 1, fill up the boiler with water, and then 2, obviously open if you want to drain the boiler manually. Basically this valve triggers at 3 degrees or less, so when it gets really cold, if you forget to open this valve in winter, it should obviously trigger, but valves obviously can fail. They very rarely fail these because this is on a magnet. But basically, currently this valve is open. How I know this is because the blue button down at the bottom there is currently sticking out, and then the diamond valve is in line. To close this, all you need to do is twist the diamond valve on top and push this blue button in. So now that is closed. So when I fill up my water system for my boiler, when the water goes in the boiler, it will come straight through to the tap. If this valve is open and you're trying to prime your system, the water will just miss the boiler and go straight out underneath the motorhome. And then in the back corner there's a yellow valve, currently in its open position in vertical. To close this, knock it down like so, and basically that is draining any excess water in the pipe work. So I'm going to keep this open, and then obviously if I want to drain the boiler manually, all I need to do, twist the diamond valve on top, the button will pop out like so, and all the water will drain out of the boiler underneath the motorhome. Here we have your mains hookup. So this is where you connect to when you're at campsite, or if you're wanting anything shore connection. So this is going to obviously charge your lithium leisure battery, give you 240 volt on the 3-pin sockets. Obviously it will run the fridge freezer because that is a freeway fridge. So that is where you connect. Here we have your LPG gas locker, so you can fit 2 tanks in here, one on each side, and you can fit 11 kilogram tanks in here. Because this is a brand new vehicle, it does come with an LPG hose. Basically the half-inch side of thread connects onto the gas regulator up there, and then behind this the black cover at the end is a 3/4 thread which connects onto the gas tanks. If you do get smaller gas tanks, you will potentially need to get a longer hose, just because obviously that hose is set for the 11 kilograms. Directly below that we have your grey waste. So as you can see, there's a handle here. If you want to drain the grey waste, put the handle on, quarter turn like so, and it will drain out of this hole here. Currently obviously the motorhome is empty, and then obviously if you want to close it, do it in reverse, quarter turn, and that will just shut the valve. Here we have your external shower point. So in the pack you will have an external shower, quick release connection which just clips onto here. This one is your pump for the external shower, so you can turn this on, and then you've got hot and cold here. Obviously the hot will only work if you've boiled the water in the boiler. Just one thing to keep in mind, this switch doesn't actually have an indication of which one is on or off. So the reason I'm highlighting this is in case you've knocked this switch and left it on, that basically this will pump the water through here. So if you fill up your fresh water tank and this is switched on, and then you turn your control panel on because it's getting 12 volt feed, this will just pour out the water. So always make sure that this is switched off. And then the last compartment on the passenger side is going to be your ski locker. As you can see, it's quite tall. It's got a shelf there which folds up out the way, so you can fit either your skis or your surfboard. The garage is heated as well, so you've got a vent on each side, so obviously any wet gear, any wetsuits you can hang up in here and then obviously dry out. As you can see here, we've got some cushions, and these are for the dinette to berth because this is a 4-berth 4 travel. And then we have got a rail here, so there's a rail basically all the way along with eye hooks, and they can slide around, and that is just to tie down anything you may have in here. So that is everything on the passenger side. So now we will go on the driver's side of the Habitation. So again, we come to your garage, which is a smaller door. There you go, there's a heating duct there. Another rail all the way along underneath, so you can tie down obviously your bikes and stuff. You've got lighting here, so always remember to turn this off, because if you leave it on and turn your 12-volt control panel on, this will always be on and draining your leisure battery. We have your awning winder clipped up here, and this little feature here, you can access this. This goes straight into the toilet shower cubicle. So obviously if you're inside the motorhome and you've got stuff you can reach, you can just get through there. And obviously you've got habitation carpets as well. Here we have your toilet cassette. So if you want to take out the cassette to empty or clean, what you need to do is this orange tab here. Lift the orange tab up, slide the cassette towards you, and that will then release. So if we want to empty our cassette, this orange nozzle here, we need to twist it out to the left. There will be a grey cap on the end here. Take the grey cap off, tilt up the cassette, and then if you put your thumb on the button at the top here, hold down the button, basically, that lets air into the top of the cassette so all the fluids flow out a lot faster and easier. Other than that, you can actually open the cassette blade manually and clean internally with a hose pipe if needed. All you need to do is to put it back in place, is realign it, slide it back, and then what we're making sure is this orange tab is secured down, so then in transit your cassette is not going to move in or out. We've got ventilation top and bottom for your fridge freezer, so when this is obviously running on gas, it's got air circulating behind the fridge. Here we have your Truma boiler flue. So you need to keep this clear at all times. One, obviously it does get quite hot when it's burning away, so this is where your fumes exhaust from when running on gas. Next to it we have an external barbecue point, so this is an external gas point, so you just need to get a quick release connection which goes underneath here, and then obviously you've got external gas, and then on this we have got external power and aerial. So the blue one is 240 volt. You do need to get a European adapter though, because obviously this is built in main Europe, so you need to get a European adapter to change it to 3-pin. On the right we've got a mini 12 volt, and then obviously we've got an aerial feed as well. The aerial feed is pre-wired in the motorhome when it's being built at factory, so there is no aerial connected. That is a third-party product, but it's easier to pre-wire the wiring when they are building the motorhome. So now we are going to go into the habitation area, and as you can see we have got an electric fold-out step which is just controlled on here. We have a fly screen as well. On your fly screen, just always make sure you slide it away before you try and shut the door, because the door handles will potentially punch you through. And not only that, if it is windy, try not use your fly screen and leave the door open, because the door will automatically get blown into the fly screen. So now we are in the habitation area. So directly outside of the habitation door, on the left hand side, we have your Truma heating control panel. So this is heating and hot water. On the email, you'll get a separate link just on this control panel. Here we have your habitation control panel. So we'll start from the top left. So on the top left, press and hold. That will give you your leisure battery level. This one here, I'm not going to switch it off, but this, if you turn this off, turns off the 12 volt system, so this will turn all the lights off. You do have 2 light switches here, which is your porch lights above here, like a welcome light, and then your awning light, which are on a separate circuit, so you do have to manually switch them off on them switches. Bottom left, press and hold, that's your vehicle battery level. Bottom right, press and hold, it's going to give me no indication, but that is your grey waste, and it will give you an indication on this side. Your grey waste has got a little nozzle at the bottom. The middle right, turn that on, as you can see it's lit up, that's your pump. Only turn your pump on when you've got water in the fresh water tank. You don't want to turn the pump on and have the tap open slightly, and then obviously the pump is running dry. You could potentially burn out the motor. Top right, press and hold, and that will give you your fresh water level again on a gauge on this side. In the middle of this screen there is like a plug socket connected to a van. Basically that will light up white when you do connect up to mains hookup at campsite. If this doesn't light up, there's a potential fault somewhere. Most of the time it's the campsite post that's tripped, so try a different connection. It could be a faulty lead, or it could be actually a fault in the motorhome, so you need to find your main breaker in the motorhome, which we will get to. We've got 3-pin sockets dotted around. Again, they only work when you connect it to mains hookup. 12 volt, which will work on the old leisure battery, and then obviously you've got an aerial feed again, like I say, it's pre-wired. This wire is just an Ethernet cable which is currently connected to the Wi-Fi box, because this vehicle on the B66 range comes with Wi-Fi on the TD version. You've got USB and Type-C sockets below, and then obviously a TV bracket. To release it, all you need to do is pull this tab down, and then obviously that arm will then swing out. In the door as well, you see like a little ball thing. Basically that is a charger, because Burstner do a chargeable light, and that is where you can charge the device. It's like a chandelier light, which obviously you can use external. So now up the front end, obviously we've got passenger and driver seat swiveled. To swivel these seats, all you need to do is this grey lever here. You just need to release it when they are in the locked position, and then they will swivel. And then as you can see, we have got a drop down bed here. So on this side, just so you know, there is an extension board what pulls out. So that pulls out over these seats here, basically, so you can sleep longitude, or if you don't pull it out, you can sleep traverse. One thing to keep in mind on this, if this board is out a little bit, like so, your drop down bed won't work. So you need to always make sure that this is pushed back, so the connections will connect, so the drop down bed will then obviously operate. This table here obviously extends outwards. All you need to do is pull your support arm out, comes all the way out, and then that folds out to make a large dining table. As you can see, there's some legs on here, some supports. These actually fold down when this table goes lower. Basically this makes up into a large double bed with the infill cushions. So obviously that's just supporting the other side of the table. To get this table down, all you need to do is lift the table up slightly and then push it all the way down, and that will go all the way down. To bring it back and lock it into place, pull the table all the way up and then push down and it will lock again. I'll try and show you the best way now. So like I say, to get the table down, lift up and push all the way down, and then obviously this is where the dinette to berth place would be. Extend the support legs, put them down, fold the table out, cushions in the middle, and to put the table back up, lift it all the way up, push down, that will then lock back into place. Under this seat here, this bench seat, there is a travel seat, so you just need to remove the cushions. You lift up the seat, see there's a lever there. You lift up this seat and these two cushions here make up the seat for the travel seat, and then same on this side, another travel seat here, all facing forward, and these two cushions here then make up that travel seat as well. So the excess cushions you may have to put in the shower cubicle just so they're out of the way. In this cupboard here, this is your control for the drop down bed. So you need to put your safety key in, which as you can see I've got it in. Put it on the unlock position and then press down, and obviously the drop down bed will come down. So there's a couple of ways you can have this. As you can see, it's hitting the top cushions there, but basically you can have this all the way down to the bottom of cushions if it's just two of you. So you just remove the back cushions, and then obviously you don't need to use a bed ladder. But if it is dinette to berth, then obviously that table is lower down, making up the dinette to berth, and then this drop down bed is set by the ladder height. And then obviously, as you can see, we've got some reading lights up here which are touch. This cushion here basically goes on the infill part. Like I said, that extends outwards, so that goes in that part there if you're sleeping longitude, or if you're not using that, then obviously you're sleeping traverse. Once finished, all you need to do is press and hold the button, and then the bed will go all the way to the top. One thing we do recommend though is to take your pillars off. You could either leave it lower down so there's a bigger gap, but then you might, obviously depending on your height, you might bang your head. But then the reason we tell you to take the cushions off is because when it gets to the top it hits a contact. Basically if the cushions are on and it keeps trying to go up, and then it will pop the fuse instead. This little device here, which you might have seen on the table, this is your bed winder. Basically there's a little hole just here, and the motor for the bed is just behind here. So you just need to put this into an Allen key bolt, and basically you wind down the bed, or you wind this back, the bed back up. If you're winding it back up, if there's two of you, try and get someone underneath the bed here just to lift up, release some pressure while trying to wind it up. Basically what that is for is, there's a few reasons. First one, you've run out of leisure battery, so you can't get it up or down then. The second one is a fuse. The first one, to be fair, the most common one is the fuse blowing, because people leave the cushions on. So it could be a fuse, it could be a run out of leisure battery, it could be a faulty motor. And on this one, obviously it could be that end panel sticking out. So obviously you don't need to manually wind it, but if the electric motor isn't working, always check that end panel first. Also in this cupboard at the bottom, we have your main breaker. So this is on your 240 volt side. So this is giving power to obviously charging your leisure battery, giving 3-pin sockets power. It'd be a feed to the fridge as well. So this is where you check on the 240 volt side. Here we have obviously your oven and grill. On this you have a little heat plate here, what pulls out just to protect these knobs here. And then you've got obviously igniter. The igniter will only work again with a 12 volt control panel on, because that's using the 12 volt system. And then obviously we've got a 3-ring gas burner. One safety advice we do recommend is this glass cover. Keep the glass cover up after use. Just let the stove cool down for around 15 to 20 minutes. Because of the temperature difference in the glass, especially if you've got that kitchen window open, then obviously the cold air's hitting it. It's really hot down here, it could potentially shatter it. Every window has blackout blinds and fly screens. And then we do have, you can buy accessories. There's a 12 volt rail here, so you can buy extra lights to put them on there as well. And then you've got storage above. Here we've got obviously your kitchen sink, an extra workspace, which is a worktop what covers the sink and then obviously folds out when needed. And then we've got your tap. So we're going to prime our motorhome with water. How we're going to do this is I'm going to run it dry basically. The first thing we need to do is shut all the drain valves. So we need to shut the freshwater tank valve, because we need to fill the fresh water up. We need to shut the yellow valve in the service locker, because that is draining any water in the pipework. We need to shut the frost protect valve, which is the black one with the blue things on. And then the last one, we need to shut the grey waste. So you need to shut all 4 valves. and then fill up the fresh water tank completely full. Come to your control panel, turn the 12 volt system on, and then turn your pump on. I'm not going to do this because obviously I'm running dry, so turn your pump on, and then what you need to do is come to your tap, twist your tap to the cold side, open it up, and basically what that's going to do is pump water from the fresh water tank through the pipe works to your tap. Once you get a steady flow through the tap, shut that tap and your cold side is primed. Now we want to get hot water, so twist the tap to the hot side, open this up. Again, this is going to take water from the fresh water tank, but this time it's going to go to the boiler, and then from your boiler through to your tap. Once you get a steady flow again on the hot side, close it, and then your system, your pipe work is all ready to use when you need. Two things. The first one is your Truma boiler holds around 10 to 12 litres of fresh water, so you can top up the fresh water so you have a bit more. And the second one, the hot water isn't instant hot water, you do have to boil it, which is controlled on that Truma control panel, which again you'll get a separate link for on the email. Here we have your Thetford 3-way fridge. It's got a large tall fridge freezer, and then at the top, to turn this on, press and hold the power and it will light up like so. And then as you can see, we've got a few indications here. So press and hold this square to change the source setting. So the first one is gas. So if you're off grid, you'll be gas on its own. You've got A. A is for automatically select, so it'll automatically choose the best source it has available. Plug socket, that's when we're connected to mains hookup at campsite. Battery symbol, that's when the engine's running, and this is getting a live feed from the leisure battery, because the leisure battery is being topped up from the engine. If you want to change the temperature at the end, select your source, and then you can select your temperature. A lot of people turn the temperature up high at the start when they first get in it for a few hours, and then once you've filled it up as well, turn the temperature down like so, and then you've set. So I've currently got it set at auto. It's trying to get gas then, but I've no gas. Eventually it will fault because obviously I have no source physically connected. Also, you can manually obviously select these as well. To turn this off, press and hold, and it will then shut down. Got storage cupboard above, and as you can see up there, that is your Wi-Fi, which is built into this motorhome. You get more information on the day of collection. And then in here we have got your obviously toilet and shower room. So in this cupboard here you've got storage, and then obviously you've got a toilet roll holder which dispenses just through here, which is a great little feature. Your tap, you don't need to prime this, because once you've done one tap, all you're doing is lifting it up, and any excess air in the pipe work will obviously vent out. You've got an air freshener holder in here, so you get some like air freshener things you can put inside here, which is great. Storage again. Got your light switches here, and then a 3-pin socket. Got your toilet here, so if you want to use your toilet, this grey handle here, you just need to slide this across. Basically this is opening the toilet cassette, and then obviously once finished, slide it back, and that will then close the cassette so no smells come back up. Here we have your flush, so the blue button is your flush, which you're going to use fresh water from the fresh water tank. And then here to the left, that's an indicator, that looks like a toilet cassette. Basically that will light up orange/red when the toilet cassette is full. Here we have this little hatch, like I said, to get into the garage. We've got your shower cubicle, nice large cubicle there. Again, you don't need to do the tap on this, because once you've done one, it's already primed. You've got a strap here which holds this door open, so when in transit you clip it up at the top, so then this door is not going to slide around for you. And then we've got I call it your walk-in wardrobe. So you've got lots of storage in here, obviously hanging storage. You've got these pull-out drawers as well, which is great. One thing I didn't show you on the kitchen area, obviously we've got pull-out drawers, but in this top one you've got 3 gas valves, which you can see there. What are they for? They are currently in the open position, but basically if one of the appliances goes faulty, if the fridge goes faulty on gas, you can turn the gas off to the fridge and still use the other appliances in the motorhome. And then you will have some storage under the floor, and as you can see, that is where your bed ladder is currently stored. So that is the instructional / overview video complete of this brand new 2026 Burstner B66 684TD. If you have any more questions, leave a comment below, or you can always drop us an email or give us a call. We do have more of these available, so make sure you do give us a call.